guys, me again. So like for my introduction, I'm Aurélien from the group based in Paris. On the mic, everyone can hear me? Or should I pick up the mic? So welcome to Dubai for those who are based here. To this second Connections Dubai in lovely Middle East. And I'm very pleased to welcome Chris from Sensory Reality, aka Sir, coming from Milan to show you like what immersive technology means. So over to you, Chris, and thank you very much for coming here.
Okay. Hi, everybody.
Sorry, thank you. No.
Okay, hi. So I'm Chris, this is Lorenzo. We're from Sense Immaterial Reality, SIR, and we're a tech studio from Milan. So we're based there and we specialize in immersive solutions for the luxury industries. And I'll talk through what that means, but we basically have two divisions. We make sort of bespoke products that are sort of for marketing, and we also have a division that builds scalable software solutions. And I'm going to show you a little bit of both of those things today. It'll be a little bit of an interactive session. So if you're not on Wi-Fi, it's good to be on Wi-Fi because in here there's not much reception. And if you have your phone, then you'll be able to try out some of the technology we've got to show you today. So what do we mean by immersive solutions? Really, we create experiences and products that go beyond simple functionality, so ranging from AR, VR, XR, 3D simulations, and really it's about bringing the digital and physical worlds closer together. So why do we do that? Well, look, this sort of doesn't really need saying, but the ground's shifting fast, and we're in a technology super cycle. You know, every day, we all read new developments, and it's happening very fast. And the question for brands is how and where to engage with this new wave of technology. And what we always say to clients is it doesn't really matter where you are on your digital journey. There's always a place to start, and there are solutions at every level. I think, you know, for those of us working in the luxury business for a while, after an amazing period of growth, growth has stalled. You know, brand interactions lacking in meaningful differentiation are turning consumers off. And consumers in general, but luxury consumers in particular, who tend to be at the cutting edge of culture, want memorable and emotional engagements and experiences, so beyond just product. And really, consumers have moved faster than brands. So especially young consumers expect to be able to jump seamlessly from channel to channel, digital to physical, and reward brands which get it. So ones that harmonize the experience wherever possible. And the direction of travel is digital and physical convergence. So enhancing the real world with digital data and making digital experiences more closely feel like their real life counterparts. And that's where we work. It's both functional and emotionally driven. So there are solutions that you'll see today that answer a functional need, but also answer an emotional need and allow clients to engage with your brand in the digital space in an emotional way. And some of the statistics are quite amazing. So 72% of luxury fashion consumers say it's important that brands provide AR solutions as part of their shopping experiences. Those technologies are no longer experimental, so 53% of buyers who use VR reported feeling more connected with brands. It's really important because the digital space compared to the real world is so disconnected. So bringing them close together is important. 75% of Forbes leading brands are adopting AR or VR technologies in some shape or fashion, and the AR VR market is expected to reach $250 billion by 2028. Immersive technologies have finally reached maturity. So, you know, what felt like a quirky novelty a few years ago has become a powerful utility today. And like I said before, consumers, not brands, are leading the way. So just some of those statistics. Consumers will pay more for a product they can customize in AR. Consumers would shop more if AR was an option. And 80% of consumers believe merging physical and digital worlds will create a better customer experience. So I said it before, but you know, it really doesn't matter where you are on your digital journey. There are solutions out there that you can use today for your consumers. And we always say that we work with accessible technology. So we can work with technology that you can use today. So a lot of that will be through devices you've already got in your pockets, like your mobile phone. And as I said, there'll be some things to interact with today. And we're going to show you 3 ways brands can utilize these new technologies. So the first area I wanted to walk through was making digital as immersive and sensual as the real world. So if anybody has a phone and you can scan that QR code, you can see a project that we did for Nike. So does that work for everybody? It's hard to tell if it's too far away. Does that work? So for those who aren't doing that, this is a project for Nike for the 25th anniversary of their TN shoe. And it's an immersive branded space that you can enter, interact with the product, and ultimately shop the product. So what's nice is when you get to the end, you can interact with the shoe, you can play with it, and you can also put it into your space and have a look how it looks in the real world. Okay, so anybody who's worked with these technologies will know that there's basically a trade-off between quality and file size, so accessibility. So, you know, what our team specialize in is doing what Lorenzo and his team work on is making excellent 3D work, but that can work on the web. You see a lot of stuff that can work on an app, but this can work through anybody's device. It loads quickly because, as we know, time to load basically loses customers. So why does that work? You know, it enhances customer engagement. You know, customers, and it's in all the sort of studies, the more customers interact with your product, the more likely they are to purchase. Creating these 3D spaces can harmonize merchandising, so bringing the physical and digital worlds closer together. And that allows consumers to truly explore a virtual space and not just scroll and click as they do on a regular e-com website. So what you saw there was some of our work with digital twin technology, and we think it's extremely exciting. What it does is it allows us to present products with the highest level of accuracy with fidelity across platforms and devices, and it increases dwell time and enhances consumer knowledge an experience of our product. So that's a CGI film of digital twins, but they can be embedded in your website and clients can play with those products and really kind of experience them. But also you can then take those models and use them in digital films, which can go onto social and all sorts of places. And they will always look and feel like the real product. So that's obviously some work for Louboutin, but we do that with a few clients. So if you do want to scan this, then you can experience that in 3D. And the other, I think, interesting opportunity, and you'll have seen it in things like IKEA, but we're bringing that, I think, to another level, is to be able to place that object in your own space and experience it. So, you know, this is a handbag, but for things like furniture, for automotive, that's a super exciting opportunity. Sorry, I'll just let anybody who wants to see that. So you should be able to play with that product, and as I say, you should be able to put it into the space that we're in right now. And you can do that with any product. So, you know. Okay. So why do we think digital twins are compelling? You know, it's true, seeing is believing. You know, when you see the product, when you can feel the product and touch the product, it just changes the way you feel about it. And, you know, being able to replicate your vision with precision is actually, you know, until now been very hard, and we've relied on sort of photography and video to do that, but this brings another new way of bringing your products to consumers. And it makes them better informed, and better informed consumers return less products and they're more likely to purchase. You know, if they see it and they like it, they're more likely to purchase. So it boosts online engagement, and again, dwell time is super important if you want to make a sale online. Okay, so I talked about how we develop scalable software solutions. This is a product that we initially developed for Loro Piana, who obviously have a fashion brand, but they're also one of the sort of most prestigious fabric companies in the world. And they came to us with a simple challenge, which was, you know, how can you present fabric and have the same emotional experience with fabric digitally as you do in the real world? So we developed a product called iFabric, which we now market, and it's the most complete design tool for the textile market. So we market that to fabric companies, tailors, and so on. Now, if you want to download this, this is an app, and you can sort of play with it yourself. So it will take you to the App Store, and there's a code there, Expo24. But while you do that, I'll just kind of explain a little bit about what the product does. So, you know, typically if you're selling fabric, you kind of go around, salesmen go around with 60 kilos of samples in their bags. They have hundreds of products, and it's very difficult to do, and it's also very kind of wasteful. And so what we took was scanning those products, and lots of people scan, you know, fabric in high definition, but we've then developed technology that can simulate the experience of that fabric. So it's good to do it on your phone because you can't sort of see it here. But Anna, I don't know if you're somewhere around, but if you touch the screen, you can feel how the fabric feels, and it changes if it's leather versus wool versus chiffon and that sort of thing. So this is something that really isn't being done anywhere else. So like I said, we work with big textile companies to, you know, use this technology, and we build kind of libraries of their product. But it also has lots of other uses, because brands, again, being able to touch and feel a product digitally is a different level of experience. So what are the benefits of that? True to life simulation, again, like the digital twins, being able to simulate it accurately really changes the way people react to the product. It's sustainable, you know, and extending this, you can imagine how much resources we can save by doing things digitally as opposed to physically. And fundamentally, it's emotionally engaging, and Fabric is an emotional product, but it's just very hard to get that across digitally. Okay, so I'm going to show you something a little bit different. This is a scalable software solution, and it's a collaborative tool, okay? And so we've developed this over, a relatively long period, and I would say the simplest description is it's like a sophisticated Zoom call technology. So it allows us to talk to people at distance, but bring that same experience you would have in a real-world collaboration. So, a digital collaborative platform enabling remote interaction with clients in an immersive environment mirroring physical meetings. Now, it can actually be used with lots of different product types. This is a sort of example for Cartier, but basically it puts a 3D environment at the heart of the interaction, and it allows, because of the technology we use, somewhat like gaming technology, it renders on your device. So instead of when you do a Zoom call, sometimes it's low res, it's super high res, and you can both interact with the products that you see.
Let yourself be guided inside the property. Savor the details of the finishes and furnishings up close, and personalize them in real time. Inhabit the space. Experience how it feels to actually be inside. Guide your client around, or let your client take control. Let them explore, and play all on their own. Don't forget what caught attention by watching and sharing a recorded session. Simplified drawings allow for clients to understand dimensions instantly. Be empowered as a seller. Streamline the bureaucracy by including property packs of related documents inside personalized sessions. Empower yourself to sell with a tool that is as good as real life. No special software required. An easy web-based experience. Just share a link and your client can join this virtual environment. SensiView. The future of real estate sales.
So I think our AI voiceover didn't know how to use the microphone well. But no, so as I said, you can use it with lots of product types, but, and I don't know, does anybody here work in real estate? Okay, so, real estate is a perfect example. If you want to do a sale, and lots of sales in Dubai are done off plan, right? So you don't have a real product to show, and this is a way to basically show people a real product in as real a way as you can get it. And we can combine the digital 3D build with 360 video. So, if you're in an apartment or a villa, you can see the real view that might be out there. If it's got a sea view, you'll be able to see it for real, and we can build all of that. So, we want to innovate the real estate sector, combining the power of storytelling with the visual impact of 3D technology. So, it's about presenting spaces and context in a full experience that goes beyond traditional tours. And what's really nice about it is that both of you, the seller and the buyer or client, can interact with the product. So you can guide them through it, but you can also let them play, and you can customize as you go. You can change furniture, but also fittings, finishings, and stuff like that. So, I won't go too much in depth, but you can manage your appointments in there. You can present within the technology. You can make 3D virtual tours, and clients can explore every facet of the property. So all of these objects that you see are built in 3D, so they can be changed out. So if you wanted to stage the apartment with different furniture for a different kind of client, you could. Like we showed with Fabric, when you see sort of Fabric, it's a lot of it is about the light and the sort of interaction and feel. It's the same for buildings. You know, the materials it's made out of and how they interact with light is super important. And we can give different light effects. So, you know, you can see how your apartment might look at sunrise, at sunset, or at midday, which again is a really crucial way of sort of pushing a sale over the edge. And it's collaborative, so I explained that, but being able to change finishes as you go, being able to customize as you go is really exciting. And again, it's engaging for consumers to do. This is just, you know, making the point that there are two viewers. You know, you the seller, and the buyer. Interactive tours via video calls. And finally, of course, like any digital platform, you can pull data from that. You can see how your clients behave in the space, and you can learn from that. So, you know, what features of interest there were, how long they spent. You can record the tours so they can send them to other people. You know, if they want to share with a partner, then they can. So real-time rendering and virtual home staging. Basically, when you use this tool, it will be high def and high res. So it won't be like a sort of, you know, glitchy Zoom call experience. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to skip over this because this is related to the previous project. So let's move on to something a little different. So final area, we've looked at how we can make digital more like the real world, but this is about making the real world more exciting and functional through augmented reality. And again, it's an area that's developing fast, and there are lots of competing platforms and technologies in this space. And we tend to sort of research and work with lots of them. And, you know, we think there's a ton of potential. So anybody who works as a sort of marketing director, brand director, I think will be able to see the possibilities here. So maybe the last QR code. If you scan that code, you're going to see this is a project with sort of multiple kind of bits to it. And so what you will get is a list of experiences, and you go in, kind of choose one, you can put it in the space, so choose somewhere sort of in front of you, and then you can go back and experience another one. So any issues you have, you know, shout out, but you should be able to try some of these. There'll be some other QR codes for these experiences as we go, but fundamentally, this should lead you to some of the things. Okay, so let's backtrack about what we're looking at there. So Foot Locker is a client of ours, and at the Paris Olympics, they wanted to have a brand presence, but they weren't a sponsor. They have a lot of stores in central Paris, and they wanted to find a way to, of course, drive people into the stores, but also use them in an interesting and exciting way. So we came up with this project, which is called the Heart Experience. So we kicked it off with the film you just saw. So back again to the digital twins technology. Once you build out a digital twin, you can then use it for a CGI film, which looks great. So we launched with this film, but the experience was really about activating 12 Foot Locker stores in central Paris with AR experiences. And those experiences were linked through a website. And crucially, if you engage with them and you were a member of their FLX program, then you could get points and ultimately get discounts. If you weren't a member, it will recruit you and ask you to become a member. So let's have a look at how that works. So the way Foot Locker works, obviously they're a shoe store. they tend to do most of their marketing campaigns as co-branded activities. So basically they get their kind of brands to pay for some of the marketing spend. Okay, so lots of these ideas, we work on this with Adidas, with New Balance, maybe Nike.
Nike, yeah.
So this is a facade of a Foot Locker store. So when you look at the store through your phone, it comes to life. And this gives you maybe a better experience. So, you know, the facade is normal, but it brings it to life. So, you know, the opportunity for anybody that has retail space to be able to bring their store, their space to life is super exciting, because you can put whatever you want on there. You can have monsters climbing out, you can put your lettuce TVC, but you can, you know, you could put a discount code if you wanted to. So, you know, customers were sort of, you know, greeted by staff in the stores and told about the event. QR store codes were in the window, and you know, we sort of did all the usual traffic drivers. So all these activities, you know, driving traffic like you would to a pop-up store is important. You want to get people involved, but when they got there, there was a strong sense of reward and engagement. Lorenzo, do you want to explain a little bit how we did this? Because you're better placed to do that.
Yeah, sure. Hi everyone, I'm Lorenzo. I'm graphic team lead in SAR. Talking about more technically about these experiences. So we built this experience in Adobe Aero. It's a platform that allowed to have this AR experience, not only visualize a 3D model, but you can have video links, track the experience as Chris said, on a facade. And having also interaction with the 3D. So, for example, there is a 3D experience in the link that you scan with the balloons, and you can tap the balloons and the balloons start to pop up. So it's really interesting nowadays how much you can push the AR experiences. And also we are discovering other platforms, not only Adobe Aero, there is Honorix and other platforms that's working really, really good. And our team is a good mix of developers and graphics. So we assist the clients to give the best experience and propose from the concept to the final AR experience.
Okay, and I'll show you a couple more things from that project. So, and you know, it's nice to show this project because when we talk about immersive technologies, often we're showing things in isolation, and often a lot of companies that we meet who we think are doing great work are quite kind of narrow focus. We have a sort of more broad focus, and this shows a lot of the stuff we do. So, you know, this is website built on the Foot Locker app, or rather this is a map on the Foot Locker app, and you can see where all the experiences are and go and visit them and kind of collect and finish the sort of, you know, it gamifies the process. These are just the things that you saw earlier, so if anybody had a go with these, some of the experiences were geolocated, so you had to be there in front of it, and they're closely locked to the store. These are freestanding, so you can play with them in the room. So, you know, we made a whole host of these mini AR experiences. And again, if you think about what your brand can do with this sort of thing, instead of doing a pop-up, which is one location, you can do hundreds of locations if you wanted to. You can do many different activations. And this is just a bit of a flavor of some of the things that we did. And again, what I would say is I've seen a lot of AR activations, and quite often they look quite simple and a bit Pokemon Go kind of feeling. This feels super high quality, and it will only get better as time goes on, the technology develops. Okay. So I won't go through these in detail, but you know, I would say we felt it was a success. So over 50,000 experiences completed, average of 6.7 experiences per participant, and that's kind of pretty, I think, pretty crazy. A great sign-up rate for non-FLX, which is the program for rewards program for Foot Locker. Great level of in-store purchases after participation, and it played really well on social. So you know, these things actually work and they have success, and, you know, consumers engage with them. And it's often a question we get, does anybody do it? Yes, is the answer. So the last case study I'll show, again, kind of interesting because it combines a lot of different, let's say, media and techniques. And what I always say to people as well is, you know, when you use immersive media, it's about adding it together with traditional media mix, and that's how it works best, is using traditional media combined with AR. So I would always say if you do a pop-up, add an AR layer, you can make it more exciting and more engaging. So the way this project came about was, as you'll know, you know, lots of projects have a strange genesis. So Pupa Milano is a makeup brand which obviously is big in Milan, and they have bought this anamorphic billboard site for Beauty Week in Milan. So they bought it and they came to us and said, do you know how to make stuff happen on here? And we don't have any ideas. What can we do? What can we do with the site? So that was the sort of start of the project. And actually we hadn't done that before. So I sort of point that out to say, you know, we have a team who are sort of, you know, problem solvers, and if we don't know how to do it, we can figure it out. So first of all, we built a billboard which kind of has that 3D effect, and that's in a key site on Via Mercanti in Milan. So it's a really visible site. But what we did discussing with the client is we sort of said, well, look, maybe we can make this into a more exciting project. So you see the QR code on there, and what we did was we built an AR experience in the center of Milan. So as you can see, they've got a pretty bold color pink. And so the AR project was about painting the city pink. Okay, so consumers were encouraged to use AR to interact with the city. So anyone who knows Milan, that's the Duomo. And this area is kind of super busy. It's a tourist area. And of course, you can't just kind of do stuff with the Duomo. You know, the Duomo's, you know, very protective about how it's presented. But through AR, we could interact with all those buildings. But what's also fun is, we're probably going to come around again, is we built the first, we think it's the first, AR pop-up store. So that thing there is on Duomo Square. So it's impossible to do a pop-up shop there, but we built one in AR, so you could interact with it, you could go into it, and you could shop the product there and then. So that AR pop-up store can be super exciting. You know, if your client wants to suddenly extend showrooms around the whole world, they could be built at a really effective cost. They could be geolocated, they're accessible 24/7, and again, they're fun and engaging, and combining it with a real pop-up can also add another dimension. You know, if a store's closed, the facade can have an AR experience that you can shop from. So, super exciting. Again, you know, all these things exist in the digital realm, so you need to encourage people to actually get involved. And traditional techniques, anybody in marketing will know, if you do a pop-up, if you're doing an event, you have to tell people about it, and you have to put a lot of effort into getting people there. So it's no different. So we combine traditional media, so billboards with QR codes that direct people to the activity, flyers around the Duomo Square telling people about the experience, even a sort of double-decker bus, even more sort of fun. But basically the point is, it's not about doing it in isolation, it's about building campaigns using a mix of media. Sound clash all over. So yeah, just some videos there. And again, other thing, you know, techniques, we kind of used influencers who were kind of posting it on social, obviously, to kind of get, so, you know, it works, and it works by feeding it, you know, like any kind of good campaign, you have to feed it. This gives you a little bit more. Okay. So good engagement metrics, 40,000 plus experiences completed, in-store purchases, and social media mentions, all of which we think are amazing. And this is a kind of new world where we can basically link through to commerce from experiential media. So I'm going to sort of wrap up, but just key things that I've talked about. So making digital as immersive and sensual as the real world. The fundamental thing here is it's about dwell time, and it's about kind of getting an emotional connection with the product. And you know, as we know on traditional media, that can be super difficult. This helps you with that, so it's another tool. Collaboration through virtual reality, so 3D tools can really aid with collaboration at distance. And we've all got used to things like Teams and Zoom calls, but this takes it to, we think, another level. And then finally, making the real world more exciting and functional through augmented reality. This is what I'm super passionate about. I think that layer that we can add to the real world, we can enhance it, and we can do increasingly exciting things. So with that, I'm going to wrap up and say sort of thanks for stopping by. If you do want to kind of talk to us, and maybe you don't want to do it today, if you scan that QR code, you will get a kind of form, and it's just put your name and email address, and we will get in touch with you. So thanks very much.
Thank you.